Well, I obviously needed to order one tire to replace this one on the trailer. So I went ahead and ordered a whole set. So I got a whole set of new tires coming. Main reason why is because I couldn't find this size. And then these look like old tires. Let's see if I can find a date stamp. E20. $20J. Oh, it's not on that side, it might be on this side. This is a Yokohama. So this one looks newer. Alright, this one's 06. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Yeah, so I'm glad that I bought all 4 tires. What about this one? Oh, and this rim's bent. Damn. Well, we'll find out when they rotate them how true these rims are. This date must be on the other side of the tire. E20. Huh. Yeah, so anyways, I mean, if this is the best looking one and it's from, well, it's not really the best looking one, this is the best looking one. It is from 2006. So I got 4 new tires coming, and oh, so what I was saying was these sizes, see this 205, 70, 15, I couldn't find trailer tires in that size. They're all 205, 75, 15. And I was thinking I would go a bit wider because of all the stretching on the sidewall, but maybe that's how trailer tires are supposed to fit, because I couldn't find any 215s. So I'm learning as I go. But here's the trailer cleaned up. This is the obviously a fluid drip. You know, he had a nasty car dripping some oil in here, so I'm going to try to clean this out because, you know, I plan on either putting something down if I do have a car that's leaking fluids, but really just, you know, maybe building a drip pan above it and then having below it for storage, because I just don't want a nasty pit. I want to be able to use this space, so that's going to take some degreaser and some elbow grease to get all that crap out of there, because it's pretty thick. Let's see. Yeah, and that's just me hosing it down. I got a pressure washer. I guess I could pull out and use that, but I think I'm just gonna scrape it up and put it, you know, like, I don't want to just blast this stuff all over the place. So what we got is a battery bracket that is damaged and missing the top piece. We got a new terminal connector for the old winch. Here's a plug. I taped it up when I was washing it, and this is not correct, so that needs to be installed properly so it protects the inside of this wire. With it like that, I'm assuming that there's moisture all in this wire, so I'm gonna assume that, but that runs to the back, which has a 2-prong outlet that is also loose. So this truck, the electrical is working, but it needs some TLC. This is the license plate bracket is also damaged, but it looks like it's got 2 screws that I can get off, or just bend it out and maybe use it. But it needs an extender and a bottom bracket, in my opinion, because the light shines down like this. So it's a really low bracket, I'm thinking that maybe I can design something with a little more clearance, because I can only imagine that that license plate is just going to get flipped up, because it's going to hang down to there, which would be the lowest point on the trailer. So I'm going to try to figure that out. It's got this bracket back here, which I was thinking, I don't want to put anything flammable back here, because if somebody rear ends me and it gets past these 2 points, then the first thing that it would hit would be something flammable, and plus it's by the electrical outlet. So I was thinking if I could cut this piece off right here and cut this piece off right here, then I could fit a cooler right there and then strap it down, and I could even get an electrical cooler and plug it in. See what I'm saying? So anyways, here's the ramps. One of them is bent, so they hang a little crooked. This one, because it's bent and shorter, sits in a little bit more. I'm gonna obviously talk to a metal worker about doing a couple fabrication changes to this. I got a friend who's a welder out of work, so, and he doesn't have equipment, so I'm thinking maybe if I can, get some basic welding equipment, I could let him use it for his work, and he could trade me and help me build some stuff. And that would include flattening this out, heating it up and flattening it out, and hopefully we can reuse it, because it's all bent up. I think it's supposed to have these bends at the top and bottom, but it's definitely not supposed to have that one, because here's a straight one, and you can see it doesn't even have the bends at the top and bottom. So this just needs to be straightened out, or a new one bought, because this is a pretty important piece. I don't want this piece to fail, because if it fails, this thing drops down and it's 5 feet. So that would be bad. But the trailer has this shell. Try not to flash my license plate tag. And it is leaking on top. It has seals. It has a metal cover, but the wood is not rotting yet. So I'm gonna let it dry out. I cleaned it up. I'm gonna let it dry out. Let's see if I can get to up here. So it's really just, see along these sides. Like over there especially, see how the lip comes up? You can tell he's redone it, or someone's redone it, because these are bolts instead of rivets. So if I could find a metal worker that's got a riveter, or we just use these bolts and reseal it, peel out this stuff as much as I can, and then caulk it, seal it. That'd be the easiest way to do it for now. That's probably what I'll do for right now, because yeah, this wood is not warped or anything like that. It's just getting wet, and I think if I stop it from getting wet, then we'll be good. And I'm actually gonna try to line it with something. It would have been nice if they'd used backer board. So when the time comes, I'll take it out and rethink the way this is done. But you can see the frame is in real good shape. I really don't know the history of this trailer, but it's kind of like a, like a nose cone car transporter. Jetta peeking through. Love the exhausts on that, how they come out the same side. Really am a big fan of that. It's got 2 access doors. This one is damaged, it's bent. I think it just needs to be taken apart and put back together, because I've already helped it a little bit by just cleaning it out with the hose. Just had debris in the mechanism itself. This switch right here has been installed on the outside to control the winch. So pulling it in, neutral, pulling it out. and that would be easy, a little bit easier to stand out of the way. It's a permanent switch. So I bought a rudimentary, more like a camper RV style solar panel, and I'm going to for right now it's just temporary. So what I'll do is I'll figure out a place to mount it, and it's got the converter that I'll mount somewhere in here, nice and dry, probably maybe up here, depending on the wiring, or maybe down in here. There seems to be a spot that stays pretty dry right here. I don't know, I'll figure out something. Looks like there was a bracket that was right here and here. Maybe put a little something there. But I want to keep this mostly flat because I plan on using this space somehow. I'm not quite sure yet how. If I can put enough support across here, it'd be nice to have a rack for tires, extra tires and wheels, whether that be a set of gravel or snow or wet weather or slicks for the track, like whatever. Just an area up here to put tires, and then I can maybe even like stack them right here and build a brace that locks them in against this little nose cone, depending on how much distance I have right here, where I could put a shelf and mount it and stack them this way, stack them up and down. So I'm going to figure out something to do with the extra set of wheels and tires for this nose cone half trailer. I'm thinking I'm going to put my hammock right here, and I got a awning that I can take with me to the racetrack that I can just set up. It's a 10 by, I got to measure this width, make sure 10 will fit nicely, but it's a 10 by 20, and it's a nice all-weather canvas top. So boom, boom, right there. And then at night I can just pull the car onto the trailer with the winch, and it will be in its own little garage. The trailer won't be taking up extra space because the car will be on top of it. So I think I'll be able to get along with other people at the track and not impose on anybody. I'll have the awning over the car, so you know what I'm saying? I won't be taking all this extra space next to the trailer. I'll be saving a lot of space, and if worse comes to worse, I can just put a hammock in here and sleep under here. It's got a light up here, which is run to right here. Not quite sure where that needs to be cleaned. I didn't want to spray up in here and get this all wet, so I didn't spray up in here. I got to clean that. Someone from Indiana calling. I don't know who that is. I'm just gonna let voicemail get that. Yeah, it'd be nice to, whatever I build in here, it would be nice to, leave the door open. So I'm either going to start at like maybe this support beam, which is, 4 inches above the door. And probably have to build a bracket over here because there's not one over here, or just stick with what's here. Maybe mount something to these two or these two, for this area, like a little shelf right here. I don't want to put too much above the car, and whatever I do put above the car, I want to make sure that it's really secure and that it's not going to flop out, and if I get hit, it's not going to come down on the fucking engine of the car. Because really the sweet part of this trailer is pulling the car probably up to, I don't know. I mean, my car is a lot lighter than the guy that had a car before me. This was used for a drag car, a street converted drag car, which was probably 1,000 pounds heavier than mine. Maybe not that much, but probably at least 600 pounds. Yeah, maybe up to like here. Yeah, right in here. So I can figure out how to mount it, how to secure the vehicle down. It's got these two these two tie rods that are loose, they're tightened up. I need to loosen them up or replace them. And it looks like they're welded in. So I'm hoping I can loosen them up. What else? I got this space here that I could use for, I was going to use this for fluids, fuel, fluids. But this might be a better area because it's lower, and it does have its own little encatchment, but it's not sealed. It needs to be sealed. So I need to cap this off. And over there, I don't know if he had something, looks like something was mounted and went up along this rail and it was ripped out, and that was a hole that was left. Like maybe some kind of rack that he didn't want to use, perhaps, because it came from here to there, and then probably down in the floor. So I'm not sure what that was, but need to address that. But eventually I think I got enough room up here. Shit, there's enough room for 4 solar panels probably. I'm gonna have to measure it out, but I could see one here, one here, one here, if they fit side by side going lengthwise, and then one going the other direction up on the nose. I'm gonna use these rims for now, but these rims, I'm not too confident about these rims. So we'll see when the tires come, I'll pull these off. These lug nuts look like they need to be replaced too. They're pretty freaking shot. Those things are gonna be prone to break, snap, especially if you're in cold weather or hot weather. It's just gonna expand and contract. Here's the supports for leveling it out. One on each side. This is the door I was telling you about. I don't have a key for it, so I have to get this tumbler out, which it looks like these are all spot welds, rivets. So that's not going to be the easiest thing to do. We might just not worry about having to lock it, because there is a way I could secure this from, I could put something across here and I could secure this little cone area. If I needed to, but I am going to reseal this, scrape out this. I'm going to do a lot of metal work on this. You see these pieces are all bent in. They need to be flattened out, so it needs some TLC. It needs some metal work, and it doesn't have to be anything professional, but try to make it as nice as I can. I do have some metalworking tools, some some hammers and whatnot. This is a piece of tin that is just hanging on there like a freaking razor blade. This is probably a strap that was used or something. You can see it did damage all through here. Another thing that I'm going to learn eventually is how to get out these dents, get the kit for dent removal. I've had one in a shopping cart for about 2 years. The hitch and everything is in really good shape, so I'm real happy about that. He gave me this block, which is perfect for the truck height. This could probably stand to be reconditioned and cleaned up and re-greased. See all that rust? Clean that up, extend it all the way out, try to clean it up. Got the plugs all work right into my plug. It's the same one. Good thing, because I didn't bring my adapter. But you can see it's dirty, so I could probably get in there and just clean it up, because it did work. And if it's not broken, I'd rather not fix it right now. And here's a lock that is not 100%. This hinge is also a little kind of gives you resistance right here. Oh no, that's a cord. All right, good. Yeah. All right, so let me see, is it locked? Oh, they're both going down. So I'm not sure why it's not coming back. Oh, that was a little click. Maybe that's what it needed. No. It does lock it, but it's not recessing all the way. See, the lock is down there and up there. So because the lock is out, down, I think it thinks it's locked. So I got to get this to come up. And without the key, I'm gonna have to pick it, which I can do. I have a lockpick kit, so I'll get out my lockpick kit and I'll pick that lock. When I was in the Army, I had plenty of people that were willing and able to teach me the art of picking locks. Starting from the tender age of 22, Butter Bar Lieutenant, he was our first sergeant. He was in Special Forces, and he taught me all about the lock mechanisms, drew diagrams for me. He could do all this right off of his memory. Just boom, 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 boom. So he was my first teacher. But I am having a little bit of issues with one lock, and I'll end this video because I got some stuff to do. And gonna bring it out here because I'm gonna take it with me, and I just don't want to screw it up. So I'm gonna go to the local locksmith and ask him to kind of show me what I need to do to get this working. So I've messed up the pins, and I didn't get them right. But you can see I got the handle all back together. Here's the new trigger. It was this piece in here that was broken. The loops that connect to this pin. And also the spring was really worn out, which made this spring a pain in the ass to get in. But got it in there. I just figured out how to do it. The best way that I found to do it is to go ahead and recess the pin on the upper lip in place with the trigger already pushed down into place, and then to use a pair of needle nose pliers probably would work best, and pull the pin down behind the trigger, because it's just a rod. There's no kink or attachment. It just sits in this area that is about, that big when you've got a pin that is, like the thickness of a needle. So it has a lot of play if you don't get it right. But it will go in easiest that way. The pieces, there's a spring that goes here, and then two rotating bolts that actuate the door handle, and then this right here is connected to the railing behind the window rail for the lock. All right, something like that. But yeah, to see these pins, I've jacked them all up and I put them in the wrong spot. So this last one is out of place. See it sticking up? So somewhere in here, one that is pulled down maybe a little bit more. It could be this one that's up, or one that is recessed a little bit more than it should be. It should be right there. So I got to figure out which one to swap out. And just before I'd start pulling them all out of order and just starting over again, I think I only got 2 wrong. So I'm going to get some help to make sure that I don't sit here, because there's so many combinations. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I mean, there's more tumblers in there than I want to guess at. So you could probably tell by the key. It's just been a while. Like I said, it's been a while since I was working on locks. When I did all that, I can pick locks still, but I wouldn't be able to pick this lock. Not with the equipment that I have, but I could easily pick the one on the trailer. So I'm going to take this with me to the locksmith, and I'm going to get a lesson on how to put back together a Volkswagen / Porsche lock pins in the tumblers. And since it's all wet and rainy, we're going to take the Titan, which is probably locked. Yep. All right. Well, but this is the missing piece that I needed. Now that this is fixed, you see I greased it. It's ready to go back in. The alarm was disarmed. I'm assuming that this white wire with the cable here is the alarm. So I'm going to keep it disarmed, because I know alarms can wreak havoc on the electrical systems, even in old cars. So I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm just going to keep it how it is. I was thinking about taking it out, because it's just this little black box right here with that bolt right there, holding it in place with this plate. So if you didn't need it, you could take off this plate, the bolt, and the box with this wire, and you know, you don't need it. But I just want to keep it all together. I got to get the key for the truck. But yeah, the trailer I'm really happy with. All the lights work. They're bent up. Like I said, a little bit of elbow grease and some TLC, and you'll see this trailer at the track.